All right, welcome back everybody to another episode of Manhattan Mondays. We have Lishati Bailey here with us. Uh, Lashati, let's get right to the questions. Right before the pandemic, the Soccer Association was getting ready to host a 16 women's invitational tournament. I know that got canceled, but even before that, you had a MLS team who was taking on a national team in the territory. That was a big stage for the territory to be on. Can you tell us what you're most excited about from hosting these events, and what do you expect games to be like in the future?
Well, this is like a three-part, question. Um, Let me break it down. First, with the women's tournament that we were planning before things got interrupted because of COVID. We were really excited with bringing the spotlight to women's soccer. We believe that the U.S. Virgin Islands has a unique opportunity to grow further in the women's soccer than their male counterparts. So this 16 women's tournament that we would have had, that we're still planning on having in the future, considering things go well, it would have given us a chance to not only showcase the talent against our sister nations, but it would also be an attraction for more girls and more women and coaches and managers to get more invested in women's soccer. We truly believe that with the talent pool with our women, they can go toe to toe with the giants in women's soccer, and this would have been a great opportunity to prove that. Hosting tournaments like this, like the DC United MLS team versus the Bermuda national team, it can only generate more attraction to the Virgin Islands and, of course, a whole lot of revenue. And I assume that we'll get more into that when we talk more about sports tourism and so forth.
That was actually my next question. With events like the women's national tournament that you guys had, the DC United friendly, and also hosting the U23 Olympic qualifiers last summer, what impact can soccer events like that have on sports tourism since that stadium is now built and ready to be used in St. Croix?
I believe that hosting more events like this will not only contribute tremendously to the local economy, as far as finances, when you have hotels sold out, transportation companies sold out, food vendors, ample amount of work, and even when they come and they don't play, they're out sightseeing, they're buying at local restaurants and shops, and their families come as well. And you're looking at an average around 300 people per event. You're looking at like a roughly 35 delegation for each team. Then you have about 20 officials, including venue coordinators, referees, and so forth. And and that brings hundreds of thousands of dollars in just each event. So I think it would have a great impact directly into the finances of our local community. But not only that, it would give us an opportunity to shift the culture attitude as we contribute more to soccer here in the Virgin Islands.
With your new stadium in St. Croix, Bethlehem, um, how do you see the future of sports, these kind of events taking place in the Virgin Islands post pandemic? I mean, do you plan to reach out to these leagues or these soccer teams to come down and train or practice or even perform exhibition matches? I mean, what's the plan?
Well, first and foremost, in football we have or soccer we have this thing called the law of the land is first. So we have to follow what the governor and our local government has put in place. Following their lead is what we'll do first. The health and the safety of our players and everybody who contributes to the whole soccer community is first and foremost. So I think post pandemic, and as the governor opens up things for sports activity, I think we're going to be more cautious and more aware of community health. We'll have more barriers for not just the players but also for the fans, so that they can enjoy the game safely. We are currently putting together a guideline on when we will, reconvene soccer activities. And I just think that a lot more other sporting, entities will follow accordingly. But first, it's the government, or the guidelines that they put in place, and second, the guidelines that we are currently structuring right now. So we will be reaching out to clubs. We will be reaching out to other international teams once we have our local base set.
No, I mean,
Uh,
can I
go
get a
ahead,
quick?
James.
Yeah, I mean, I understand first and foremost is the health of the territory and following the guidelines of the government. I'm just, with everything that's going on right now in the States, maybe there's a unique opportunity for the Virgin Islands to take advantage of some of these things. I just asking you about that a little bit.
Such as,
As they were trying to have games in, like, for instance, they're trying to have games in Florida, they're trying to have games in New York and California, but right now the pandemic or the COVID is taking off kind of. So they're having second thoughts. Even the NBA is having second thoughts about the bubble that they're trying to form. With us being part of the United States but still separated, I just talking about the unique opportunity for us to take advantage of teams getting used to coming down here, liking the environment, wanting just using this as a launching pad for sports tourism in the territory.
yeah, well, we can. You, it's funny, we're in a unique situation here in the Virgin Islands. Even though things are opening up, in the United States, we still have stipulations that we have to follow with our local government here. So I mean, we can't take advantage of inviting teams because when they come, then they can't play, because sports activities haven't opened up yet in the Virgin Islands. So we would like to like we have considered keeping some of our national teams still active and traveling to United States, but the ultimate conclusion was that we're not going to venture into that as yet. We don't think it's worth the risk, and we will invite teams once our local government opens up things, because we feel as though we're more comfortable with something that we can control, an environment that we can control, as opposed to having one of our teams travel to Florida or Texas, where we don't have as much control as we would at our home base. So things I don't foresee soon. I'm talking about like within the next quarter, 3 months or so. We're gonna have teams traveling away. But however, once things open up in the Virgin Islands, we will surely reach out to our competitors outside and invite them in.
To shift our focus more on the national teams, what was your favorite experience representing the U.S. Virgin Islands?
This that's an interesting question. My most enjoyable experiences has been I have been representing the team, but I wasn't on the team. That's more when I'm currently in my position right now as general secretary. But if I would say while I was a player, there was one memorable moment when we were training. We used to have our training sessions at a local high school, St. Joseph High School here in St. Croix. And I remember when at the time our president brought a care package for every player on the team. Care package had in shin guards, cleats, kit bag, the full ensemble. And it was such a powerful moment for a lot of our players, me included, who didn't have the resources to enjoy the game as much as we want to. And when we got that, we felt a sense of empowerment. And from that moment, literally from that moment, I was wanted to be involved in the association to build it, to create more of moments like that for the generations to come. But as in my role as general secretary, um, my favorite moment representing the team was when we were in Anguilla and we won our first Nations League match. That was a tremendous experience. The even the ambience of the hotel, the treatment that we got from the locals in Anguilla, and us winning the game was a cherry on top. So I would say those are the most memorable moments or favorite moments.
How do you feel like the Virgin Islands benefits from playing in the new CONCACAF Nations League?
More exposure, more games. For example, before our men's team had to wait extended periods of time before even playing a match. Because of our low ranking, it was difficult for us to even arrange meaningful friendlies. It just wouldn't be worth the investment on either end for the team that we probably would have played and even for us. Now with the Nations Leagues, small countries have the opportunity to play big countries, and also uh, there is a there's a sustain there's a sustainability of games every single year. So because of that, we have things to build towards and look forward and look more towards too, and we also have more exposure for the U.S. Virgin Islands period. We get to host games, at least 3 games every year, which is broadcasted live around the world, and people will be attracted to experience the beauty that we have here in the Virgin Islands, not just soccer wise, but these games bring in fans of those other teams, and these games bring in exposure that's being broadcasted to Europe or to United States and so forth. And when they see how nice the Virgin Islands is, they tend to want to come. So it create a big impact not only for our teams, getting more games, more exposure, but also more impact for the region, sports tourism wise.
Looking at the rosters, who are some of the more established players on both the men's and women's national teams?
Um, I would say the best player to come with the VI, I would have Zola Kaza. She's on a women's team. Um, Other prominent names and best. I mean, if she had the brute strength and speed as the males, she would be hands down the number one player to ever come out of the Virgin Islands. Just her mentality and the way she addresses the game is phenomenal. I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that out of the Virgin Islands. So definitely her. Other ladies on the national team would be like Tamika Aguilar, Bianca Canizio, the captain. Real phenomenal ladies. With our men's national team, um, our men's national team, I have to put to put a lot more thought. I'm just to be very real. Our current men's national team are not going to be the ones to take the Virgin Islands to the next level. It's really the younger ones that are coming up right now. We do have standout players who are playing um, professionally in our men's currently, like Aaron, and we have strong players like Casal Green. But I'm really more focused, or we are really more focused in building towards the future with what we have upcoming. And the men currently right now, they get that and they understand that, and they understand that they have to be the foundation for what's to come.
Just a quick follow up about that. When you said the younger generation, are you talking about like the team that represented the Virgin Islands for the U23 tournament, or is it even younger than that?
Correct. That team and also a few younger than that. We're talking about like I'm talking mostly about players who are currently in college, like Carson Kendall, who is at High Point University. He's from out of St. Thomas. Connor Corrard, he's Assumptions College in Massachusetts. He's from out of St. Thomas as well. Players like John Engerman, he's playing at St. Bonaventure University in New York. Jimson St. Louis, incredibly talented player. Look out for this player, Jimson St. Louis. Southeastern Community College in Iowa, and also some of our female college players like Jada Newton and Maya Wright and Lynette Alamo. Think we have a real bright future, and this is the age group really what I'm talking about, more of the university age youth. But our talent pool under that is is phenomenal as well. So
I mean, going off of what you just said, um, what makes those players stand out in your opinion? What type of player does it take to make the transition from Virgin Islands to the next level?
There's three main components that would take a player to the next level, straight out the Virgin Islands, even to college, and then from there to professional. I think the biggest jump in your career is going to be from home, high school to college, and then from college to professionals, a less of a transition from high school to college. But there's three main components. You have to be mentally fit and strong, hands down. Um, your toughest training is usually going to be around that university range where you're going to get your most conditioning, your most strength, and so forth. When you reach professional level, they already expect you to be fit and strong. So they mainly concentrate on tactical stuff at a professional level as opposed to technique and conditioning. So at that level, you definitely have to be mentally fit and strong. You have to be fully focused. You have to know this is exactly what it is that you want for you, and be focused on that. um, I mean, we all been to college, and we know how easily it is to get sidetracked with the partying and so forth. And just maintaining that level of focus is what's going to make you stand out, and you have to be 100% dedicated. I think the players that I name, especially Jim Simpson Lewis and Carson Kendall and Connor and John Ingerman, these guys, uh, Jaden Newton, Maya Wright, Lynette, Zola, these guys and girls, they have right now what it's gonna take to get them to the next level. It's just a matter of them maintaining it right now and growing it.
Okay, focused on a little younger than that. What are some of the players in the younger generation that you feel are getting ready to make that jump from high school? They might be like their junior, senior year, and if they keep working hard, they'll be able to make the jump to the college level.
Um, there's quite a few. Actually have to look at the list, the database. We do have Rabi. I forgot Rabi's last name. I think it's Rabi Abdallah. Definitely him. Wyatt, for sure. I really have to look at the list because in all my experience and in all my travels, U.S. Virgin Islands has the biggest talent pool I've ever seen, and everyone who comes to the island and sees it, every coach, every technical person who comes and sees it says the same thing as well. They just never had the proper coaching and the proper structure behind them. So our talent pool, like U15, U13, U17, is an abundance of very talented, incredibly talented youth, and I feel very confident in what's to come. Um, and like I said, I really have to go through the list to. I wasn't ready for that.
Well, just to follow up on that, like you said, the talent pool is so large at a young age. Is that just because of the raw athleticism that kids that from here to have, and then it's just working on transitioning the skill, like that athleticism to the soccer field?
Yeah, I think it's honestly just that. I think it's raw athleticism. I actually believe the best youth, we haven't even seen him touch a ball yet. Honestly speaking, I think the reason why we have such a large talent of incredibly talented youth is because we're a huge melting pot here in the Virgin Islands. We have people from every race, every culture, ethnicity, every background that you could possibly think of, all mixed up, and all experiencing not just when they come together as families, but even when they mix with cultures and mix with mingling, and so for all that has a role um, in the creation of the youth that we have. And I think because of that is why we have such a vast pool of incredible talent. And for a very long time, we haven't shifted our focus to building proper structure and the coaching behind them. And I think in the next 15 years, we'll definitely see something.
Well, fantastic. I think we've had a great conversation so far. Is there anything else you'd like to add about soccer in the Virgin Islands at the moment?
Yes, there's actually one main thing, and I think it touches on what I mentioned previously with our talent. Just being honest, soccer is the biggest sport on earth, and FIFA is perhaps the best sporting institution, hands down. And it might be coming from a biased perspective, but just for the main fact that they invest heavily in every single country in the world, whether it be finances, they invest in training, courses, education, coaching, refereeing. There is no other sporting organization in the Virgin Islands that has this sort of backing. It's like a double-edged sword because we have this kind of backing because of FIFA, due to FIFA. People tend not to want to give the support that it needs. So should we be able to shift, that culture, that attitude as a community, and invest in the soccer association in as much as FIFA does? I think that we'll be able to create something new and fantastic in the Virgin Islands. Not just look at us as, okay, they have this big backing and support from FIFA, therefore they don't need my contribution and they don't need my investment. I think because we have this backing is why we should shift our culture and our mentality to, hey, there's something here. Let's put all of our investment, let's put all of our support as much as we can to this, because this is a great building block for the Virgin Islands. And I think once we recognize that as a community and as a culture, that we'll be able to make big waves, not just in the Caribbean, not just in our region, but throughout FIFA.
I'd like to thank you for your time that you took out of your day-to-day to speak with us. And I just want to remind viewers to stick and stay with Mad Hot Media for the latest and greatest in Virgin Islands sports.
All right. Thank you guys for having me. Blessings.
Blessings.